Hey, I'm Alex, and over the last year, I've been studying medicine at the University of Cambridge. I'm gonna be heading back in a month, so I kinda wanted to make this video partly as an excuse to look back on the previous year, but also because it gives me an opportunity to share my experiences with you guys. So, without further ado, enjoy the video. Okay, so to get into medical school, I had to jump through a bunch of hoops. Now, I'd say I worked pretty hard for that, and I managed to scrape by the interviews somehow. But one thing I'll never forget is the UCAT. So, the UCAT was one of the admissions tests that I had to sit through. And the reason the UCAT was frustrating was because it was just a goofy test. Like, here's an example. All jinx are frongs, but not all frongs are jinx. Some of the frongs that are not jinx are zoobs, but no zoob is a jinx. Are there more frongs than jinx? Now, this is supposed to test your critical thinking skills, but it just looks like a bunch of words from the first look. Like, seriously? This is a real question they have on the website. And don't even get me started on abstract reasoning, which they finally took out this year, so our future doctors don't have to sit through whatever this is. Anyway, I'm sure you're sick of me whining, so let's talk about the university experience. So I got sent to Lucy Cavendish College, which is a pretty nice small college away from everyone else, and it basically gives cottagecore. In the first week, I didn't really know anybody, and we went through all the ceremonies like matriculation, where I was basically signing my life off for the next 6 years. We had a lot of fun, and I got to meet some really cool people. At some point, we got together and we just made some meals, which was pretty wholesome. It was around that time when I met my closest friends who were going to be with me until the very final exams. One of the first things we did as a group was touch grass, and here's some photos of that. We also came across some cows for some reason and found a playground, so why not? Obviously, I was still studying during this time, but it felt more secondary to everything else. There was always something happening in Cambridge. Like, I went to a hackathon, which I didn't win, but it was still a fun experience. There was also a medtech conference, and I got to meet some really cool people. Essentially, the first term was just chilling out and having fun in an unfamiliar place with good company. In the final week of term, we held a Christmas party, and it was a nice way to say goodbye to everyone. We went up Castle Hill and just stayed there for a bit. So yeah, it felt like a really nice ending to a movie. So over December I did some studying and I felt okay for my mocks, but I clearly didn't do well because I didn't get any good scores. And this was kind of a wake-up call for me. So obviously I decided to just focus on my studies and... Okay, but seriously, it was around this time when I realized that Cambridge medics are actually really cracked. Like, imagine someone being at the top of their class in high school, times 270. At some point, it just becomes funny to be surrounded by so many successful people. So I had to step my game up and actually start studying. But that didn't mean I had to stop having fun, I just had to balance it out better. So drowning in content is basically a Cambridge tradition, but Cambridge has some other weird traditions like college marrying, which is where you find someone from your college and you agree to quote-unquote marry them. And then when next year comes and your college gets a new set of freshers, you get assigned quote-unquote college kids. And it's not like I take part in anything so stupid. Yeah, okay. So on Valentine's Day we had this college marriage formal where we just met with other spouses and got officially married. It was nice, I guess, but it was also a bit strange. What else? Med softball, a glorified excuse for medics to be alcoholics and /or be financially responsible. And I think this video sums it up nicely. Okay, to be fair, it was fun and there was a lot of stuff to do. Overall, this term was just a more intense version of last term, with more studying and somehow more fun. This term was also when I did my 24-hour study challenge thing, which, side note, was completely useless because none of this stuff actually went to my head. To end the term off, we went to a beach and it was a nice way to take a break from all our studies. We did all sorts of stuff like sightseeing and bowling. By Easter term, I had a month left until my first exam, so surely I had to finally focus on my studies and not do anything else. Okay, listen, I started judo this year and I got the chance to fight some people from the other place, so obviously I took it, even if it was in the middle of Easter term. At this point, I realized I've only spoken about the Cambridge and experience part, but not the medicine part, so let me give you a quick rundown. In the first year, we studied anatomy, physiology, and the bane of my existence. Our learning consisted of lectures and practicals like dissections of our cadaver and random biochem techniques. We also had small group supervisions in each subject with an expert in the field. Cambridge is unique with medicine because, unlike other unis, the exams had us writing full-blown essays, timed and closed book. Across all the exams, I wrote around 7,000 to 8,000 words over 6 hours, which is grueling, but at least we could type it out. Most of Easter term was just us trying to study and survive until the final exams. I spent an average of 7 to 8 hours studying over May, which wasn't fun, but at least I got through it. Here are some more stats. It looks like I got enough sleep, but I honestly don't know because I look sleep deprived in these videos, man. Was it worth it in the end? Maybe. I was happy with my score, and I guess that's all I could ask for. At this point, I finally finished my exams, so I don't have to think about anything academic anymore. Alex? Alex, what are you doing? Alex, don't go in there, Alex! Alex, no, Alex, no! Okay, so earlier, I sent an email to one of my lecturers on cancer, and she agreed to let me and a friend shadow her lab for a week, which was honestly really kind of her. We got to see some cool wet lab techniques, and even see some little evil cancer cells. Apart from that though, the rest of Easter term was just actually relaxing and taking a break from all our studies. Which leads us to the final big event of this video, my birthday. No, I'm kidding. Jesus May Ball. This was definitely the highlight of the year, because the whole event was just pure hedonism. There was so much to do and even more good food to eat, like these for example. The entire atmosphere was just good vibes, and it was fun to randomly bump into some other friend groups. One of the main events of the ball was Ellie Henderson performing, but because of technical difficulties, we had to wait for over half an hour from her scheduled appearance, so we had to make do, I guess. But eventually... Yeah, that was sick. So May balls tend to run past midnight and into the morning. And if you do make it to that morning, which was surprisingly easy, you get to join the survivors photo, with everyone else surviving to that morning. My group was over here, and Zoom. Now, was it worth it? Yes, 100%, I would go again. Honestly, the most fun I had last year. But all good things must come to an end, so I packed my things up and got ready to go. It was tough to say goodbye to everyone, but we'll see each other again next year anyway. Well, goodbye, Cambridge. So that concludes my Cambridge year, and honestly, what a year. I learned so much about medicine and probably even more about myself. I got to hang out with some really cool and smart people and just live life. Obviously, there were some rough patches and I crashed out a couple of times, but hey, we're still alive and kicking. I'm honestly really grateful for this institution for taking a chance on me and for everyone who's been along for the ride, because they're the ones who made Cambridge really feel like home. I'm really excited for what's to come next year, so I guess the last thing left for me to do is say, see you soon. Are you recording right now? Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yo, what's up?
Hey yo!
Remember, hit the like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload new videos.